And then above and beyond that, they need to work on applicable weaknesses because I want them to grow and expand their role. If you have a player that only does a couple of things well for you, they want to make their strengths stronger, but they also need to make sure that they're working on some applicable weaknesses and improve those so that they can expand their role. So if my man here can only shoot out to 15 feet and I will not let him shoot three-pointers in a game, that might be an area of something he'd like to work on in the offseason so that maybe eventually he's earned the right to shoot a three-pointer in our offense with my permission. So we want players to work on what's purposeful, but we also want them to expand their applicable weaknesses. A couple other thoughts, and then I promise I'm not going to talk the whole time. I'm going to get these kids. You guys ready? You ready? You guys speak English okay? I was told it might be language. You get it? Okay. They always understand a smile. Everybody, no matter where you go, they understand a smile. Here's something I want you to think about the difference between players. An average player comes into the gym to take 500 shots. That's pretty noble, especially if somebody like Spencer used to do is going to get up early in the morning, 5:55 I think he said, and come into the gym and take 500 shots. Well, guess what? I'm a coach. I don't need shot takers. I need shot makers. Everybody can shoot 500 shots. That doesn't make you special. The name of the game is put the ball in the basket. So you can say I shot 500 shots, but how many of them things went in? That's all that matters. Because if very few of them go in, you're not really helping yourself, you're not really helping us. So average players just come in to take 500 shots. Good players come in and they're going to make 500 shots. So they might have to shoot 700 in order to make 500, but they're going to come in and they're going to make 500 shots. Truly great players, and this is not verbal sleight of hand, this is being dead serious. Great players come in and they make one shot from a game spot at game speed 500 separate times. There's a difference. They focus on making one perfect shot, perfect feet, perfect form at game speed from a game spot, and they do that 500 times. It's a very subtle difference. But you'd be surprised what subtle differences there are between good players and great players. Usually, it's the stuff that Spencer talked about earlier today. It's the mental stuff that is the reason someone is an average player when they could be a very good player. It's because mentally they don't have it. And the reason somebody could go from a good player to a great player, once again, is mentally. But these lines are very small. As far as championships, everybody's always talking about championships, and at DeMatha it's something that's important to us. But you have to realize that winning a championship is an outcome. And if you want to win championships, you need to be more focused on the process. So at DeMatha, I would never lie to you and say that winning a championship is not important. I would never lie to you and say that we don't talk about it. We have to. We've won a lot of games at DeMatha. We have a lot of banners hanging in our gym. Our kids could not ignore that if they tried. But we don't spend our time focused on the outcome. We spend our time focused on the process that we know will greatly increase our chance of hanging another banner. There's a big difference to that. If our players, if every single day they come and they have mental toughness, and they've taken care of their bodies, and they get rest and recovery, and they're very coachable, and they go as hard and as smart and as consistently as they can, every single practice, we have greatly increased our chance of winning a championship. Because at DeMatha, and I know it's a little different all over, we're allowed to recruit players to our high schools. I've even tried to smuggle a couple out of England when I met my friends over here. Like, we recruit very good players. So I can tell you for a fact that at DeMatha, we have talented kids. And if they're willing to focus on the process, and they're willing to, especially on the mental side, absorb that type of coaching, we win. I mean, we're very good when we do that. But it's never because we talk about winning and losing. It's because we stay focused on the process the entire time. And that's really what that means about, you don't come in just to make 500 shots. You need to come in to make one shot perfectly 500 separate times. With our workouts, it's kind of funny. We're not allowed to make workouts mandatory, so they're always considered optional. And I've put this on Twitter before, and it always seems to make coaches laugh. If a player asks Coach Jones, is this workout mandatory? He says, no, this workout is optional. But so is your playing time next season. If you don't want to come to this workout, help yourself. But next season, when I look down the pit, it's my choice whether to put you in, and I will not put you in. So yes, most things in life are completely optional. But, you know, in order to be great in anything that you do, choose that option. All right, now as far as what I'm going to share with you guys for the next 2 days, and I've got a lot of bag of tricks that we'll share today and again tomorrow. I want to share with you guys as many drills and as many exercises that I can to do 4 things. The first is they improve basketball athleticism. That's kind of my shtick, that's kind of what I'm known for, is improving basketball athleticism. And as I've mentioned, an athlete is an athlete, but there are things very specific to the game of basketball that need to be addressed in order for a player to bulletproof their body and improve their function on the court. So even though being able to run 2 miles at a very fast pace I mean, that takes athletic ability. It just doesn't take basketball athletic ability. How much a player can bench press means nothing to me. I could care less. I want players that are basketball strong. Basketball strong is what matters to me. Weight room strong doesn't matter to me. So I need players that can box out, that can set solid screens, that don't get knocked off of the ball. I need players that are basketball strong. Next is, these drills have to have what's called a high perceived relevance. Perceived relevance means that your players understand without question why they're doing the drill that you're having them do. They understand, because here's the thing about players. They want to get better. They absolutely want to get better at every single level. And if what you're telling them, a player knows will make them better, you'll get their focus and you'll get their effort. The moment they think what you're doing will not get them better, they check out. No more focus, no more effort, they care less. That's why at the United States, Coach K is one of only a few people on the planet that can coach our Olympic team. Because we have some really good players on our Olympic team. But you know what we also have? We have some really big egos on our Olympic team. I mean, think about that. Think about what it would take to tell Kobe Bryant and LeBron James what they need to do to get better. That's a hard task for any of us, because let's admit, those guys are pretty good basketball players. There's not a huge area of margin for them to get better. But Coach K has found ways to prove to those guys that he can get them better. And they eat out of his hands. I've been able to watch several USA basketball practices. And those guys listen to Coach K the way you guys are kind enough to listen to me right now. Because on some level, you believe, and I hope that it's true, what I'm going to share with you is going to make you a better coach. I'm going to make sure that's true, by the way, but that's why you're listening so attentively right now. Well, same thing. If right now you did not think that what I'm going to say is going to make you better, you wouldn't be here, first of all. You wouldn't come to the clinic, and you'd probably have left right now because you don't think I'm going to add any value to your life. So that's what we have to be in the business of as coaches, is to keep that perceived relevance high so our players understand that what we're doing makes them better. Now with skill training, it's fairly easy. Okay, I work on this move and I work on this finish. Yeah, I will do that in a game. With performance stuff, it's not always that easy. Some of the drills I'm going to do, a player might go, why are we doing this? So it's my job as a coach to explain it. Same thing with the mental stuff that Spencer talked about earlier. A lot of it seems to be common sense to me, but that's because I've studied his stuff before. If I'm a 14-year-old player and he's talking about how important it is for me to think about things while I'm walking the 17 feet to the free throw line, I may not quite process that as a 15-year-old. So I would need, in that case, Spencer to explain it to me and exactly how is this going to help me coach? How is this going to help me make my free throw? And he does a tremendous job of being able to connect those dots and increase perceived relevance. Because as soon as you lose that, you're basically done as a coach. Next is, I need something with a high rate of transfer, which means what we do on the court during our warm-ups and during our performance work is going to help, along the lines of that pyramid, is going to help our players perform their skills at a higher level. I told you that the stuff I'm going to do with these kids does not make them better basketball players by default. It gives them the opportunity to apply this to their skills, and then if they apply that to their brain, then they're the best basketball player they can be. So you have to look at the different pecking order. Because, I mean, you think of just unbelievable athlete. Usain Bolt, the gold medalist in the 100 meters. We can all agree he's a good athlete, right? I mean, that guy's built like a freight train and can run pretty fast. I don't know him personally. I'm going to assume he's not a very good basketball player. Because he probably hasn't spent much time working on his basketball skills because he's found another vocation that works for him. So it doesn't matter how good of an athlete you are. If you cannot shoot, pass, rebound, defend, or handle the ball, you're not a very good basketball player. And we're in the business of making improvements to basketball development. So I need to make sure there's a high level of transfer. And then lastly, I need to make sure there's always high focus and there's always high effort. You know, yes, some workouts will be designed with easier drills. It's more of a quote-unquote light day. But light day doesn't mean that you're allowed to be absent-minded, that you don't have to focus, that you don't have to give a good effort. If those things aren't important, then give them an entire day off. Just don't have them come in. But never create the habit of saying that it's okay to not be focused, to not, as using the 4 C's that Spencer talks about. Those things are always important. Because how you do anything is how you do everything. How you do anything is how you do everything. So I can't stand a player that thinks they can go half-assed during a workout, half-assed during practice, and then I'm supposed to trust that when the lights come on and the cheerleaders start dancing, that they're going to be a great player during the game. Life doesn't work that way. You know, we're not wired to be having on and off switch. You need to be on all of the time with everything that you do in a game of basketball. Now, what I'm going to share for the next 2 days is not a workout per se. I'm going to show you an a la carte menu of the drills and exercises that we do with our players on a year-round basis. So this is not exactly like if you came to DeMatha to watch a workout, but you'll see the same drills we'll do. Now, I'm going to have them stay on a drill long enough that I feel confident that you guys know exactly what's going on, and then we'll move to the next one. That way I can share with you as many things as possible. Now, you already see I talk really, really fast. So if you need me to slow down, tell me to slow down. I talk fast and I usually move even faster. My goal is to give you everything I got. I want to leave Belgium and you guys go, damn, that was a lot of stuff. My fingers are killing me, right? Drawing these little stick figures of guys doing stuff. You know, that's my goal. I want to give you everything I got. So I'm only going to stay on a drill long enough for you to know these things. You're going to know the why behind what I do the drill. The why is so important. I mean, if you really want to get deep right now, you have to know the why do you coach. Why do you do what you do? You don't ever get burned out on the why. You guys, that's the most important thing. If you're ever feeling burnout in your life and your career, it's because you're forgetting the why. Never forget the why. The next is the how. Okay, I know why he's doing this drill. How in the hell is he doing this drill? I want to give you the coaching points so that this could be a drill that if it fits into your philosophy is something that you want to do. And that is number 3 is this has to fit into your belief system. I don't expect all of you to believe the same things. How boring would life be if every single one of us thought the exact same way? We would just be robots. We don't need that. I want you guys to have professional and philosophical debates. And it could be a debate on what's the best way to run a man-to-man defense. It could be something on offense. I'm a huge fan of the read and react offense. I know that not everybody in here runs read and react. That's okay. That's what makes life fun. That's what makes basketball fun. So you need to figure out if this stuff fits into your philosophy. So I'm not telling you right now, but what I'm going to share with you in the next 2 days, I better see in your practice next week.